Hello, everybody. We are on. We are live. Take down the slideshow.
Let's stop the show.
Hello, everybody. We are on. We are live. You can stop talking. There you go. Alright. So, a few topics to go over. You can pull that light up some. It's kind of causing a little bit of fuzz behind you. There you go. Right there's good. Alright, so guys, I want to share with you a few developments since the election is allegedly over, according to the media. And so we're going to start with a few remarks by those, for example, who is this? Janelle Monáe. Not really sure who that is, but we can assume it's somebody who's extremely left-leaning, very upset at the outcome of, I guess, just people being enthusiastic for Trump at all. So we're going to read through this article from the Comical Conservative. Everyone who supported Trump should burn. Actress and singer Janelle Monáe makes haunting remarks on Trump supporters. Now, of course, she doesn't represent all of those who take umbrage with our being Trumpaphobes. But it is pretty telling with how much, I guess, civil discourse has kind of, waned over the years. And this is an example of it. So we're going to go through this article just to kind of go down a list of things that we're going to be going over for the next hour and a half. Today's going to be a shorter stream. So, Janelle Monáe made shocking comments about Trump supporters, claiming that anyone who voted for Trump should burn, according to the Daily Wire. Blank Donald Trump, every American citizen, celebrity, white woman, black man, very specific there, etc., who has supported him, burn, she tweeted. I am not going down a list for y'all. Y'all do the research and see who gave him millions of votes. Her tweet has since been deleted. Florida is dead to me. Let the lemmings drive their golf course into the ocean. John, whoever the hell.
Well, Leguizamo, he's an actor.
Well, okay.
No.
Tweet it.
You know him. You need to see his face. You remember John Wick? Aurelio?
Who's Aurelio?
The mechanic in the first John Wick movie.
Oh.
That's John Leguizamo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were great in that movie. I still love you, bro. Your opinion is trash, but you're good. You're good at pretending to do things. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about some people being bothered with our political affiliation?
They can go. I don't know. We've talked about it so much, I don't know what to say at this point. It's whatever happened to civil discourse. Like, why can't we have disagreements but not hate each other?
Oh.
I mean, the left has just driven us so far apart.
Well, yeah.
In my opinion.
And I agree. But it's unfortunate as it is. It's just the way it is. Politics has gotten pretty ugly over the years compared to how it used to be. It used to be a lot more civil, a lot more, I guess, easier to deal with, to cope with. The possibility of, or the chances that Trump loses this election doesn't really bother me so much. Like, of course, I'd like to hope and assume that if things go out, that we know for a fact that voter fraud wasn't a huge aspect of it. I'm hoping that's the case, because if it was, we got bigger issues to deal with than who's president. Because if voter fraud is proven and it's to such a degree where it could do something like this, it could damage the integrity of our elections, then we're in big trouble. Because, Biden being in office is hardly anything to be worried about, with how we're seemingly doing better, how Republicans are doing better in the House and are looking to maintain the Senate majority. So even if Biden does become president by whichever means, he wouldn't really have much influence in the Oval Office. So that puts me at ease. And it also kind of makes me consider just how at first I thought people were voting. I think most people were voting to spite Trump.
To get Trump out, yeah.
However, I feel like they knew well enough that, like, yeah, we don't like Trump, but we understand we don't like Biden, but we'll settle for Biden. But the trade-off is that we'll not check any other box, for either because they don't know who those people are, or they don't care enough about them. And of course, when I voted, I went down the board straight red, because as far as I'm concerned, the Democrats don't offer anything to me that I find tangible, helpful, or useful for me or anything that I care about, values or otherwise. But to see that many of the voters who voted for Biden probably didn't care to vote on anything else. They just wanted Trump out, which is fair. Trump's attitude is, not the most favorable. I can understand why some people dislike him, and I think that's fair. But outside of that, I am so far pleased with the House numbers and the Senate majority likelihood.
So yeah, all is not lost, friends. It's not. Is it ideal? No, but with us controlling all three, pretty much most of the branches of our government, we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, we control both houses of Congress, Senate and the House, and the judicial. So, I mean, even if Biden is confirmed as president, he can't really do anything.
Yeah.
Without the other
branches.
without checks and balances getting in the way. So,
which is one of the many reasons why I love our country. There's a lot of things put into place to prevent a likelihood of all-out domination from whatever party becomes too unstable. And right now, the party in question, I believe, is the Democratic Party. However, this doesn't mean the Republican Party is clean by any means. Like, I feel like this party has a lot to do when it comes to reforming for, like, having a better stronger backbone, worthwhile candidates who mean what they say what they mean, and hold to their values instead of selling out to their opposition. And I don't know. There's a lot of room for that. But moving on, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calls for the censorship of Trump supporters. Staffer compiles a list. So there are talks amongst her ilk that there need to be a list for people like us. We need to be, ostracized even further, like we haven't been already. We need to be made an example out of. Now, of course, this echoes that of Stalinist Russia, where they had the list and they did things of similar nature. Now, of course, again, it's AOC, not really concerned with what she thinks or says, but it is worth noting that these are the type of people we're dealing with. Oksana Tyson, hey, welcome to the chat. We're just doing a short stream today. We'd like to get more into streaming during the day, not necessarily at midnight, but not shutting the idea off completely, but we kind of want to make a nice mix it up some. Got the Rona.
You got the Rona.
Get away from me. But welcome to the stream. We're just going over a few things to talking about the scenarios for a Biden-Harris presidency, whether or not we should be concerned at all, and a few other things to take note of.
Some of that ice went down wrong.
I don't know, man. You sound just like you got the Rona.
Shh. As long as people on stream don't know that, that's a problem. That's what I'm worried about.
Anyway, you want to read this one, buddy, old pal?
I have to read the whole thing.
Well, you can just skim through
it's
it.
all garbage.
We're doing a service to the people.
At the request of Democratic U.S. Representative AOC, a list of names of individuals who elected, served, funded, supported, and represented President Donald Trump, called the Trump Accountability Project, is being compiled in the name of holding them accountable, quote, for the unthinkable action of supporting Trump. She hopes to use this list to censor these individuals' social media accounts in the future. Fortunately for AOC, a radical political activist has already begun doing that.
Well, hold on. We got Adam Risher. Lenin, too, the agenda for free healthcare in college is the same as Lenin's promises, Hitler and Mao. Yes, that is correct.
Former Obama administration staffer Michael Simon said that he is gathering the names of anyone who supported Trump in the 2016 and 2020 election. Blah, blah, blah. Simon explained his motivation for this crusade. The world should never forget those, when faced with the decision, chose to put their money, their time, and their reputations behind separating children from their families. Even though Dems have been doing that for 4 years.
Well, it doesn't count when they do it.
When before Trump was president. Okay, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Where was I? I already forgot where I was. Okay. Encouraging racism and anti-Semitism. Semitism, you know.
Wait, wasn't Ilhan Omar accused of doing that same thing?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we all know that the Arab... No, we're not going to go into that. And negligently causing the unnecessary loss of life and economic devastation from our country's failed response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Even though they're all out in the streets right now celebrating a Biden victory.
Hey man, you're supposed to be reading, not interjecting, your feelings. Hold on, we got some more. Yeah, me and my family were stealing about how civil split in the United States and how we will turn into China before long. It's really sad.
What's up, Ibn?
Yeah, Ibn, welcome to the stream. I'm not too much, I feel like some of us on the right are a little too concerned with that. For us to go like a full China takeover, it takes a lot more than Biden winning the presidency. And like I said, we have a substantial amount of fail-safes in place that will prevent that from just happening outright. And part of it, even like I said, even if Biden somehow manages to take it, steal it, whatever the case may be, we still have pretty good pull, especially in the Senate and the House right now.
And because the judicial as well.
And the judicial with Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh. Now, as far as I'm not sure. I think they said Trump is going to be taking it to the Supreme Court. However, that of course I prefer that it goes in his favor. We'll see. But there's no reason to oh man, the Dems got us. No. No.
Yeah, it's okay, guys. Is it ideal?
No.
No. Did we get
shafted?
Did we get shafted?
We kind of believe so.
Yes.
But
all is not lost.
Yeah.
We still have the Senate. We made significant gains in the House, and we have the judicial. We have the Supreme Court.
Yeah. So that means even if Biden tries to come in and pull a Trump with writing executive orders left and right, they'll all stop at the Senate, crash at the House, or the judicial will be like, what are you doing? So, because I think they said this is the first time in 30 years that a president has come into power without any type of leverage in
either of the other branches.
Yeah. So our founding fathers were smart enough to build a system that is really designed around both the two-party systems working together, whether they want to or not. And I can't think of the last time that a party had complete control of the House, judicial, executive, and the Senate. I have to do some research, but I don't think something like that happens too often. Now, of course, the Democrats will probably more than likely try what they can to get that, but as long as there are enough, freedom-loving Americans and the patriots who care about the Constitution, the chances of them getting that far are unlikely.
Yeah, Chet, gridlock isn't ideal. It's pretty much gridlock, but it's better than the alternative. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Can you imagine the left holding all branches right now?
It could be way worse than it actually is.
It could be
right
way
now.
worse.
So,
we would have all of our rights would just disappear.
And this is another thing I told Chris about before. We're really lucky that we are the United States of America and not a United State. So even if things go sour, the chances of us, seceding, breaking up, or whatever, there's never gonna not be a time where we won't fight for what we have. So I'm not that worried about it. worried that, of course, I'm still going to be, fighting a good fight, but I wouldn't just be like, oh, we lost the presidency. It's over.
Oh, dude, I just realized I forgot my stream hat.
Yeah, you did. You want to go get
I'm going to go get my stream hat. I'll be right back, chat.
All right. Conservatives are now awake. I believe we will not go back to just accepting the fundamental change of America into full socialism, which leads to the end of civil liberties. Exactly. Too many of us care about it. And, if the Democrats had their way with the public, we would already be seeing significant changes in our society.
Sorry, Chad, I forgot my hat. All right.
So
now I'm a racist.
All right. Well, I think we're good. I think we're okay. And also, I also feel like this is actually a not the best outcome for the Democrats either, because it's Biden. Which means, because I asked a few friends of mine on Facebook, what were their expectations of Biden? And so far, a few of them were like, as long as he does, it came off very passive. And I'm like, I remember somebody that was like that when Obama got into power.
Yeah, wasn't someone who's sitting next to me over here?
And so one thing that I'm speculating is that once Biden gets in, because remember, the left have to pander to this whole laundry list of identity politics, communists, socialists, progressives, and they can't do it. It's the reason why I see their party as being extremely fractured, split. I think there was a story where I got it right here. Yeah. There's already infighting within the party because moderate Democrats are pissed off at those at the progressives like AOC and Rashida Tlaib, whatever her name is, about their policy, because just like I said, like even though Biden is likely to get, the presidency or whatever, no one else voted for anyone on the Democratic side for the rest of the seats, which is why the House lost seats for the Democrats and the Republicans gained. So that tells me that, overall, people on the left and the right, the moderate left, they don't really too much care for identity politics, critical race theory, this uprooting of society because of racism and all this mess. All that is being rejected across the board, which is fantastic news. Because all that stuff falls under Marxism, communism, socialism, blah, 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 blah. All the isms.
Those don't exist. Those are just figment of your imagination.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to that, too. But just an example. Here's Josh Krosh. He was saying Spanberger was talking about something that many of us are feeling today. We paid a price for these unprofessional and unrealistic comments about a number of issues, whether it's about the police or shale gas. And responding to that, we have, it's unrealistic and unprofessional to be okay with people dying because air pollution is causing cancer in their communities. It's unrealistic and professional to look away while black folks are gunned down in the streets by police. Yes, more of this. This is exactly what we're talking about. The amount of infighting that is going to be caused due to the loss of seats in the House, and people like this who are unhinged lunatics who want immediate, crazy, progressive change right now, and then you have the moderate Democrats in power who are losing because of people like this, is why a Biden-Harris presidency isn't really going to leave much of a mark on our country or socially. And if anything, it's going to work more in favor to conservatives because we're the only ones paying attention to this kind of stuff. And for the normies out there who start to take notice, like, me 6 years ago, I'm like, man, what the? I thought Biden was going to do X, Y, and Z. How come nothing's happening? Because he was never going to be able to. So why are the news senators in charge of the count instead of the government? Because news can change whatever they want to see the truth. Yeah. Also, the Republican Party that won't be allowed to go back into elitism. I feel like we can stand for the original 1850s. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's one of the great things I loved about Trump, because the fact that Trump got in broke the system. So we can't go back to politics as usual after Trump. And Biden is politics as usual. And I feel like that's going to blow up in it. I almost want him to win because I feel like this is secretly more than what we originally wanted. Because at first, we just wanted Trump, 4 more years of Trump to get things, to drain the swamp. The swamp has been put on full display. Everyone can see it now, and the only thing that's stopping people is their beef with Trump. So if Trump is out of the picture, that means there's only one person that can take the blame for everything now, and that's Biden.
No. It would still be the Republicans. It would still be Trump's fault.
No, to a degree, but after a while, people are going to be like, you can't blame him, he's gone. Remember, that was the whole point of getting Biden in there.
But it would have been inherited problems.
I mean, they're going to try that, but I don't think it'll last. I really don't. And then there's this Jim.
Yeah, making...
Hold on. Here's this Jim, in case you guys haven't seen it. Also, the Democrats make it personal, not facts, making statements like the one you just made. Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is like, this right here, I don't know if you guys seen this video. This is happening outside. I don't know if it's the White House, but they're celebrating.
It's at the BLM Plaza.
Yeah, at the plaza, where they were celebrating Biden's, projected, so we hear that word a lot, his projected victory for the president-elect, and this happens.
For all of you fucking journalists! For all of you fucking journalists! For all of you white liberals! For all of you white liberals! Who have been celebrating! Getting drunk off your asses! About Biden winning this election! You are all a bunch of fucking fools!
Repeat after me.
Get it together! Get it together!
Get it together.
They didn't sound like they cared.
Because I don't.
You are using this plaza as a tourist attraction. You are all acting like this is fucking Disney World. This is not fucking Disney World.
Notice the lack of social distancing going on here.
Respect for your own benefit. We will not have it here. We are not going anywhere.
Please don't.
We are
Stay.
still gonna be here. Protesting. Fighting. Advocating for our black, brown, indigenous, people who have been killed by police. Thank you.
Thank you.
Notice how there was no white in there.
No, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. Everything these people are complaining about, the left made promises to address. But as you could hear, it's impossible. There's no way to please these people, and these are the people that the left have been propping up and celebrating. So there can only ever be a clash and a complete destruction from within. Because when you pander to people like this and make impossible promises, they'll come after you. And just like this guy said, he's listing off all the things that they want that cannot be given. I hope this leads to the next Thaddeus Stephens, Lincoln, or Theodore Roosevelt's to rise and restore our foundation of individual freedom and liberties for all Americans. I believe it will. Because the biggest threat I see doesn't come from the Democratic Party. It's big tech. I feel like that is the main thing that we need to focus on.
Yeah.
And the biggest way to do that, and I'm going to start, advocating more of it on my channel, is alternatives to the mainstream tech options like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. I recommend we keep those as long as we can get them, but also explore different options that, allow free speech. There are options like Parler. I've been hearing about Parler a lot. BitChute, Library, a decentralized network. it would be within your best interest to educate yourselves on how to use all of those options. Should tech censorship get so out of hand, out of control that we just get booted outright off of like these main sites. Of course, we're gonna use them until then, but explore your options because the whole thing with the capitalist society is competition. It ain't just YouTube. It ain't just Twitter. We have many options out there, and people need to get out of the comfort zone and try something different because it might be for your own benefit. What does BLM really want? Do they know themselves? Do they know what they're standing for?
No, they're just angry, disenfranchised folks. They have no idea. Because they have no centralized leadership, so they have no goals. It's just whoever's chanting at the time, they fall on like good little parrots.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah, so that's why they're not a threat to me.
And I have literally zero respect for BLM.
Yeah, because they stand for nothing and fall for everything.
Exactly.
Because you notice how what started out as Black Lives Matter grew to include everything under the sun save white people. And, it's all of it is a complete contradiction of itself. Black lives matter until white lives. All lives can't matter until Black lives matter. But what about black people that don't agree? Well, screw them.
They're Uncle Toms. Yeah, they don't exist.
You just said Black lives.
They don't exist.
So, and then of course they never specify. It's just the same thing with like on Twitter. You don't know what you're in trouble for until after you break a rule that you weren't aware of. But again, that's why I'm not worried about them because they're just a bunch of shrieking Neanderthals who bring nothing of worth or value to the table, and only the Democrats are only just taking advantage of them. And the few of them that are actually sane will realize that and become conservative. So, yes, great call. Alternative social media tech, yeah.
Huh?
Stand up and use those things. And the same thing with media. We know media is a joke, so support your individual, media. There's a word, or alt. I guess alt tech is part of it. But people like Andy Ngo, like he does his own journalism. Follow independent journalists and see what they have, because the biggest difference between independent journalists and the media is that independent journalists are on their own. They have everything to lose and everything to gain, but they have to do it on their own merit. Under whatever media, like, for example, Fox, who I don't know why conservatives thought Fox was ever on their side. They're a part of the media. They're all the same thing. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, blah, 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 blah. They're all the same thing. Just because Tucker Carlson is on there spouts what we like to hear doesn't necessarily make them conservative. Not really. So I think conservatives need to, broaden their horizons and look at some more options instead of just expecting Fox to tell them what they want to hear. Do your own research. Media is lost.
Andy Ngo is the man. Yeah.
Chet P, welcome to the stream. Yes, he is.
Chet P's been in here.
I didn't see his name earlier.
Yeah, he popped up like 15 minutes ago.
Oh.
God, you're stupid.
I didn't see him in the stream. My bad.
What would you do without your co-host?
Well, that's why you're here. Why do you think I hired you?
Hired me?
Yes.
I get paid?
No. You just work here. Moving on. What's that? Report Congresswoman unloads over failure in House elections. No one should say defund the police ever again.
Before we get to that, we have some comments. Daily Wire, Blaze, Real Voice of America, Just the News. These are all the alternatives to mainstream, but we'll call out the Republicans when they fail. Absolutely. Which is what we need. We need independent journalism, so journalism can become journalism again. Do you think the next 8 years the United States will be divided? We're already divided, man. I mean, it's a little too late for that, but well, I know what you mean. It depends.
I'm gonna say it varies. Like, there is division, but only if you pay attention to like the mainstream narratives, because it's hard to say. I wouldn't just deduce it as to we're divided, we're screwed. Like, yeah, there's a lot of division there, but don't think that all of America is what you see in riots and cities. A lot of the cities that burn are in those specific cities. But cities are big. What may be happening in like a 2-3 block radius doesn't account for the entire city.
Yeah.
Most people are just like moderate. That's literally the majority of the country.
It's usually the loudest voices are the most violent voices.
Yeah, and it seems
the people that are sane are generally pretty chill unless they have to not be chill.
Yeah, most of the people are screeching and running around the streets. Like I wouldn't consider them the representation of the state of our country. Always question that. I wouldn't. Yeah, just don't assume that we're divided as in we're screwed. There's gonna be civil war coming in 30 minutes type thing. Like the chances of civil war, I still think are relatively low because no one's ready to die for their beliefs yet. Because
yet being the key word.
Yeah, but you got to think of the times. People are comfortable now versus 100 years ago where they were still building.
Yeah.
So the threat of losing what you just put together, like, oh yeah, we're gonna march, we're gonna run across this field with guns pointing at each other, and there's no mandate saying that's a bad idea. But now, yes, Adam Risher, independent, go independent, please. Mainstream. If mainstream is gonna die, we gotta stop watching. We can cover stories or whatever, but we just gotta drop the numbers. And the only reason they're still alive is because there's a good portion of America that has invested interest in them and rely on them for information. So, Fox. But here at the Daily Wire report, Congresswoman unloads over failure in House elections. No one should say defund the police ever again. It's like I said. These people are too crazy to hold any moderates. Well, I gotta go.
All right, Oksana. We'll catch you later, man. Thanks for watching.
Yes, thanks for stopping by. Good stuff. See you on the next upload.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, pretty soon. But amidst the lackluster performance in the congressional races across the country, freshman Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger reportedly unloaded on a conference call with House Democrats on Thursday afternoon for harming the party by pushing and promoting radical left-wing talking points such as defund the police and socialism.
Dirty word.
Oh, I'm loving it if it's going to hurt them. Yes, promote more socialism. Go for it, lefties. Because, if people on the right know what they want, and it's not a question. That's why no one brings up, capitalism on the right. But because the left is going through an identity crisis, they got it. It's stupid.
Right. We don't need to burn, loot, and be violent to be noticed anymore. Trump, in office or not, has changed us for the good of Americans. Absolutely, he has. That's why he was set. See, Trump wasn't a politician.
Yeah.
He was a leader, and that's exactly what we needed, a leader. And we still need a leader.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hector, welcome to the stream.
Yo, Hector, what's up?
The radical left are so blatantly hypocrites, it's cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that will be their downfall.
Yeah, that will be their downfall.
Because, again, the average American is not concerned with things like trans rights or BLM mess. Like, many of them will probably say publicly, like, oh, yeah, I support it, whatever. And then we'll go home and be like, back to my life because that's what matters. My life matters. My family matters. My values matter. So,
do the lives matter?
We'll find out next time.
Okay.
But like I said, when it comes to BLM, they don't realize that BLM is a thorn in their side because it's just going to hurt them in the end. Yes, real truth is not relative, and it's easy to see. That's why I'm put at ease at the prospect of Biden potentially becoming president, because that just means everything he tried to promise and all of it failing would just look bad on him. And I'm like, yeah, give Trump a break. For 4 years, he's been dealing with this nonstop onslaught of these crybaby lefty Democrats who want to obstruct him at every turn. And even with all that going on, he managed to pull off as much as he did. Take the next 4 years vacation if you want to. Like he said in the third debate, he's done more in 4 years than Biden has in 47
47 years.
And the fact that people are latching on to Biden proves that whatever expectations they have, they won't say out loud, but they have in the back of their head, are going to be completely let down in his first year or first term in office. And it'll be even better for us, worse for them, if Biden steps down halfway through and lets Kamala take over. Because then she's going to get all the flack. Of course, they're going to be saying, like, y'all just not being fair because she's a black woman. And I'm like, whatever, you're the commander-in-chief. Own up to it. You don't sit here and complain about not being the first whatever and then think we're just going to toss you softballs.
That, and honestly, man, a lot of people picked Biden because it wasn't Trump. Like, I saw the other day on Facebook, I saw a couple posts saying, well, yeah, I guess Biden's the president-elect, but I don't really like him. I just voted for him because it's not Trump.
Yeah, and I'm the more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? That's fair. Because you know you didn't like Biden, and you set him up for failure. So, putting Biden in the House putting Biden in the White House with no Senate majority, no House, he can only fail. That sucks. I would hate to be him right now.
A lame duck president. There's literally nothing he'll be able to do without interference, which is good because I wouldn't want a senile, dementia-ridden old man to dictate our fates. But anyway, back to this article, I guess.
Yeah. According to CNN, congressional correspondent Manu Raju Spanberger unloaded on the phone call with the congressional Democrats, declaring to them that they shouldn't be talking about socialism and defund the police.
Yep. Kuroki, welcome, buddy. Good to see you again, man.
Yo, yeah, me either, man. Like, we just kind of decided because of I still got to go to work today, but I want to get in the habit of streaming when the sun is out instead of late night.
Yeah, we're gonna try to end our late night streams. Just maybe do a couple, but it's probably
not necessarily end them, but
kind of do more day streams. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when most people are actually awake. Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Eat a whale. Is the price of liberty. Eat a whales.
Just because Hector says because Biden wasn't positioned for president, he's merely a pawn to get into office and have a deranged Nancy as VP. Yep.
Yeah, and I feel like that's gonna backfire because, again,
Biden is legit a puppet president. That's all he's gonna be.
Yeah.
If he is confirmed as president, because he hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah, but even then, it's like that's still not good on the Dems because if they're trying to win over too many different categories of people who want the country to go this way or that way, versus most people on the right, a substantial portion of the country on the right has an idea for the country to go, so we're not split on anything for the most part. Biden is a catalyst for what's to come. Oh yeah, but again, I'm not worried about him. Like I said, this is probably the worst thing for the Democrats right now. They don't realize it, but I'm feeling pretty confident. Politico, citing two sources, reported Spanberger was having made similar remarks. Oh, I already said that. Other Democrats on the phone call also spoke out about the effects of the defund the police rhetoric on the congressional races, according to CNN. Yeah, I mean, it's because nobody wants the police defunded, if I had to guess. Politico reports that Congressman Jim Clyburn, the House Majority Whip who played an instrumental role in reviving Joe Biden's flailing campaign during the primary season, also warned Democrats on the call about the effects of going too far left. Look at all this beautiful infighting. I love it. More of this, please. Hector, I find it really miraculous how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, this is my admin Harris, speak about wanting unity, yet you just called Trump a Nazi. Genuinely think Americans are blind to idiots or both. Again, works in our favor. Everyone knows the shit Trump supporters have been getting, but when it comes to again, these are the people they've been priming up before the election, all the way up to once they get in the White House to hear. Think about it. If me or you were pro BLM and we were convinced that Trump supporters were Nazis, terrible people, and need to be done away with from our society, and we voted for these people thinking that they were going to be the ones to do it because that's what they ran their platform on, only to have them come up and be like, unity and love. Even with people who don't agree. You're like,
What? The
I'm
other
not
day,
working with Nazis.
yeah, the other day you told me that I should hate them. Now you're saying that I should love and embrace them with open arms? What? You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, and even the most deluded individual will come to that conclusion. So again, splitting the party. So I don't see a bad I don't see a bad play for us.
I mean,
outside of potentially losing the White House.
I mean, it sucks that Trump got cheated like he did, allegedly, but every outcome to this is actually positive,
yeah,
in a sense, because it actually works in the in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a crap deal, but it could be worse.
I feel like Republicans are smart enough to plan for the next move instead of wallowing in defeat like the Democrats did for 4 years. Because for 4 years, instead of complaining, what they could have done to actually be a bigger threat to the Republicans and conservatives as a whole is build up a stronger candidate and not spend so much time whining, not spend so much time attacking Trump, but coming up with a better alternative approach to battling someone like Trump, who is currently in the White House.
Hector says, right, I think your pal, sorry, forgot your name. I'm assuming he means me.
Chris.
Chris, it's Chris.
Yeah.
Said it best. People are voting on narratives they hate Trump without any substance. As to why, because of that Biden has free to roam and cheat and lie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if all that gets exposed, it works even better for us. So it's like a win-win and then another win. Trump did say he'd get tired of winning. So the one loss we got is could still be a win.
Being an independent individual who looks at both as fools can admit that Dems are full of shit, promising way more than they can handle. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's their downfall. I don't think Republicans do that. As far as promising more, Republicans can be pretty shit, but when it comes to expressing a plan or whatever, the Democrats take the cake every time because they overpromise, and when they fail, they lose. It's like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. Because Obama was an example of that. The fact that somebody like Trump came in after 8 years of Obama, and that everybody was convinced that this is the way forward, only for this guy to let him down, because again, promised more than he could, give.
Yeah.
We got Trump.
and on the subject of Obama, kind of what I just said, there's no reason to worry, guys, because we lived 8 years under Obama, and Obama had more control over the government, and we lived through that.
It sucked.
It sucked, but we'll live through Biden if he is confirmed as president. So, like I said, it could be worse.
Yeah, the worse the lefty candidate, the better the comeback for the conservatives.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you ever let me in on this stream, I'll rip liberals a new asshole and hurt a lot of feelings. Sick of this suppression of bullshit propaganda. What do you think? What do you think this is? You're right, and I feel, and this is one of the reasons why I'm starting to question whether or not I should censor my stream, the verbal wordplay or whatever, because I want people to be honest. I don't want people to feel like they have to, hide how they feel or censor, oh, it's a bad word. And I was thinking about it, but I'm like, look, for the past 4 years, everyone who is loosely associated to Trump has been getting untold levels of hate that it makes no sense. So I have no problem with it, dude. Whether it be on this stream or probably the next stream, because I gotta go to work in 30 minutes. I'll have anyone on. I'm gonna be investing in another camera to get to set up a better podcasting format, and just having people on speak their opinions. Let's see. Their plan of action is extremely vague, albeit the Republicans were just as vague in so many ways. Just a lot of underlying values with all this crap. No more no more elitist politicians. We need people that love the idea of our founding principles that has made our country so successful. Yes. And given so much hope and opportunity to so many, a better union. Young Sykes, welcome to the stream. We'll just have to adapt and survive, but I'm going to enjoy the shenanigans and BS that's about to come. Yes, very correct. And just like you said, Adam, no more elitist politicians. Trump exposed that. And I feel like that's going to be a really tough gap to fill. Because the fact that he showed up and did what he did was all the confirmation we needed, in my opinion. That politics cannot continue as they are. It's too lacking. Not enough going on that we know about. And it's funny how people became so politically active when Trump showed up. But before, it was just like...
No one cared. Nah.
Yeah, now all of a sudden everyone... this includes me. Everyone's a political commentator. They're strong on politics. I'm like, good. Good.
Hector says, I've lived as being titled a bigot, racist, and homophobe for 4 years because of supporting Trump. They don't deserve our kindness at this point. We need to be stern and tactful. Yeah.
I couldn't have think better words myself. Stern and tactful.
Absolutely, Hector. Which is funny because it's not a good amount of my family is gay and my best friend is black. Well, I see some parallels here.
Oh, not the gay part.
Not the gay part, but the black, but definitely the black part. Is that non-PC to make fun of?
No, dude, we're going back to like the 80s when you could say whatever the hell you wanted and that was it. Instead of having to step around eggshells every time you wanted to tell a joke. Yeah.
We need people born outside of politics, fresh minds, not brainwashed by their affiliation.
Yes.
Why do you think we're doing this?
Oh yeah, because my thing is conservatism. I use that first because I think the Republican Party could use some more reformation.
Yeah.
Trump has made significant gains in that regard, which is why I respect him. What's really killing me right now is their constant rhetoric of, oh, we have to bring the country back together again when they were the ones who tore it apart in the first place. That's the irony. But again, we have to let that sort itself out. Us pointing it out will only, I think, alienate them more because deep down they know what they did. They know what they've been doing. And so our job, I think we have to start at a local level and get more politically engaged in local elections and, pushing what our values are over the status quo now, because the status quo is garbage. Too many yes men and people in the president's ear. Well, that's always going to be the case, but again, we have to be more active because everybody in Washington, all those politicians, we put there. And when we stop putting them there, when we just allow Washington to act as an autonomous force, this is what we get. So that's, I've been saying it, I'll say it as many times as I need to. Get involved in politics. Don't make it your life, but just make it a point to be a little more, understand more today than you did yesterday. That's all I'm asking. Because I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a perfect political analyst. I'm still trying to figure out how to get my stream schedule together. But the end goal is to understand politics enough to where there isn't enough going on that I'm just caught off guard. Like, well, I didn't know you could vote on that. Or I didn't know that was the role of this person in that part of the house. And it all starts local. We need to become a conglomerate and remove the social media influencers who push the left agenda, plus what you said, local voting, but we really need to remove the biased media first. The way you remove biased media is to seek an alternative. And if we push independent media up as independent media, other word, and what I mean by that is not make someone so popular that they become an affiliate of, MSNBC or whatever. They have to remain strong as an independent, which means that, let's say, just for the sake of example, let's say I wanted to start my own media company. I want to, hire journalists, reporters, or whatever. I would have to do so on my own. And, of course, with the help of those who support what I do. So if I were to make a Patreon or do whatever for-profit, have you guys pay me to do what I do, it would have to stay that way. Now, if I got big and everything and took a deal from Fox, you guys can cut me off because I've sold out. But,
Stop watching corporate media. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just like what I said.
Exactly what he
Support
said.
independent media, though, because independent journalists, they're on their own. they don't have to answer to nobody. As far as I'm concerned, Andy No is just Andy No.
You know, man, we could do like a whole like streamer video exclusively on journalism.
Yeah.
That would actually be a good topic for a future streamer video.
Thanks, co-partner.
You're welcome,
Guy.
Guy. Josh, whatever your name. I don't even know your
I guess
name.
I'm just
Steve.
Guy.
But we need to do a video on that because that could be like a whole topic on journalism.
It's important because journalism now is a joke.
Yep.
Not only in politics, but damn near everywhere, especially in the gaming sector.
Yeah, there was a time.
I'll talk about that on my gaming channel. Not hashtag, but Immortal Afro Alpha Gaming. If you're into gaming, just check it out. It's a pretty good channel. I'm gonna start streaming over there too. But restrictive, more likely not letting anything. Yeah, but again, we can let those mediums die on their own once we stop supporting them as because people are lazy and put in the effort to invest in independent media, independent journalists. We also have to be vigilant of old Washington moves. They like to make laws without notice. We have to not be lazy and look at the laws they make, and like you said, get involved even at a local level. That's why I think a local offensive is more beneficial than trying to just aim straight up to Washington, because everything starts here. Now, yeah, things go on up there, but if we want to influence that, we have to build those bridges over the course, and it'll take many years. But the more involved we get in local, then these local people will be like, for example, like Ted Wheeler. They vote on the mayor, but because so many people are disenfranchised in Portland, as much as everyone there seemingly hates Ted Wheeler, he still gets in. And he has literally let his city go up in flames, but he still gets elected. Same thing in New York. AOC wins again, mainly because everyone's disenfranchised. They either don't vote and let the radicals decide for them, and the reason why she's in there is kind of their fault. They've become too disassociated with politics. It's like when I ask some of my friends, their main answer is, "I don't care. I'm so tired of it." Blah blah blah. I'm just like, and you be the person complaining when stuff starts changing and you don't know why. Maybe it's because you didn't vote. Maybe it's because you didn't bother to learn anything. I know politics can be annoying, but if you got more involved, maybe they wouldn't be so annoying. Just saying. But down with the system. When the fuck has CNN become the presidential deciders? This is horrible. Never seen this amount of bias and lying in American history. Yeah, that was obvious the minute Trump started running, because at first, before Trump was even in the picture, everyone loved him. He's like, oh man, he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was in that Home Alone movie. He made that great TV series about firing people. You either liked him for that or didn't care about him. Oh, and don't forget wrestling. He was in wrestling. He beat up Vince McMahon. He shaved his head, and he wasn't racist because he picked Bobby Lashley to beat that guy. So,
but as soon as he runs on a Republican ticket,
boom,
racist, hate monger. Immediately.
Like,
never mind anything fun or nice he did in the past. Immediately, orange man bag.
Yep, and then they were just saying, well, he has a lot of issues with his business. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure no businessman has a perfect record. Just saying, not trying to say whatever shady stuff he may or may not have did. To me, it's irrelevant, because now he's a president. He's no longer a businessman. So he did whatever he had to do. He even said himself, he's like, yeah, I took advantage of the stuff y'all allowed for me, being a rich guy. I was recently given shit because I refused to be more involved with politics. Like, I'm supposed to choose a side and live with it without really questioning why you ally yourself in the first place. I think it's important that you at least have a fundamental understanding of what's happening. I don't think that's too much to ask for, because it's one thing to have a side that you stick with for no real reason. And then it's another completely if you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just for the sake of craziness. I'm like, well, no party has that unless you make that party. But I doubt you'll get too much support when people kind of have a comfortable living standard. And that's why people mostly pick between Republican, Democratic, because those are the most established parties, and they have the most established framework for living comfortably. And as far as I'm concerned, Libertarians and Green Party, it's not. I don't know. They don't do enough. That's what I think.
Sykes says Trump was in a lot of rapper songs as well.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say is people think conservatives are pro-Trump to the extent where we believe he's a god. If Biden won, generally I'd call him my president, despite not choosing him. Yes, if Biden legit won, would it suck? Yes, but we would accept it. It's the fact that the votes are fraudulent, which upsets us. We lived 8 years under Obama. We accepted the election. We weren't happy about it. In fact, this dude was an Obama supporter, and
I gave this
he
dude
gave me
shit
for 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah, it wasn't until the 6th year when I was like, wait a minute.
So it will suck, but it'd be legit.
I refuse to support lies and cheating. Everyone should, because it's not genuine. If all this gets exposed as truth, fraudulent votes, dead people voting, fake ballots or whatever the hell's going on, then yeah.
All right, Adam. We'll catch you next time, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Let us know what system you play on, man. We might play with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me write that down.
Deluge 220. Is that PC or?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah, man. Gotta get the games going. What's it? Deluge 220. Thank you. But yeah, so we just gotta make sure that the process is held to a standard. If there are any flaws in the process, they need to be rectified for the next election. Because if this is a big thing and we just let it slide, it literally becomes the precedent for future elections. And the last thing we need is election rigging being the default method for deciding who gets what.
Yeah.
Being conservative used to mean being more introverted about your beliefs. Now you're a racist if you're not, for being social media mascot for corruption. Yep. Fake smile. One giant scam has been vote counters trying to slow down the count in many places to keep votes suppressed in one place, then heighten in others based on what's going to be more advantageous to Biden. That's why I believe there's voter fraud, because, correct me if I'm wrong, never in American history have they froze counts on election day with the sole purpose of delaying them to the end of the week to find out who got what.
And there were swing states too.
Yeah, and I'm like,
that were hands completely in favor of Trump. But let's shut down vote. Let's shut down counting. Send everybody home except for a handful of counters
who can blow through 180,000 votes in a few hours.
And then all of a sudden, the next day, Biden closes a 200,000 deficit.
Oh, it was 180,000.
180,000 vote deficit.
Oh, 140.
Didn't they pause vote? Didn't they pause counting again?
They did it in several places. I've heard some people say that pick of there being like a sharp uptick. I think it was one of the swing states. Some people said that was a glitch, which still warrants an investigation, whether it's legit or not, whether it was a glitch, actual voter fraud, something going on. I've been hearing that the software Dominion was used to count votes.
Yeah, I've been on social media all for the last 2 days. It's like there's no evidence of fraud. Are you kidding me? Arizona, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan.
My whole thing is that, look, whether you believe it or not, you can't deny that something weird happened this election compared to past elections.
They just don't care. They hate Trump so bad they don't care if they win.
Well, again,
fraudulent.
Again, if he wins, they'll be the first ones disenfranchised, because we already have an idea of what will happen. That's why I think if you know the saying, cheaters never prosper. So if he cheats and gets in and fails to do anything, we win. Because who else are we going to turn to? Someone else on the left? Harris? AOC? these ridiculous
the squad.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, who over there screams leader?
There's no one on the left that would. Oh, Hillary would make a great leader.
No, she wouldn't, because they didn't even vote for her back then. If you think about all of the people they have on the left, how many of them have any of the appeal of someone like Ted Cruz, someone like Dan Crenshaw, someone like Donald Trump? None. No, nobody.
Tulsi's like the only one they have.
Yeah,
Like,
but they asked her.
They shunned her.
Yeah, see, people. As far as I'm concerned, people on the right don't do that. You know, you either suck because your name is Jeb Bush and you lose, or if you do relatively well, you make it as far as you can. Like Marco Rubio, it's like there's plenty of things to like and dislike about the people running on the right, but hardly ever do I see them attack each other on the same veracity as the people on the left. Just like, like I said, Tulsi Gabbard. How did she lose to Kamala Harris when she blew her back out in the debates?
The mission is everything to them. It doesn't matter the cost. Absolutely, man. Truth be told, I despise all of it because in reality, humanity is going about this completely the wrong. This is not enough to build a future. Division that runs deeper than our compassion.
Well, yeah, while this is true, stating that doesn't change the fact that we need to try. Because right now, you see the options laid before you. If you're one of those that think, oh, well, both options are shitty, all right, I guess stay put. Or you can consider a reformation and fix the one party that has the potential to be done better. Because as far as I'm concerned, the left is beyond salvation right now. It would take a what is it? It would take a Soviet style collapse for them to regain any type of traction towards reformation.
Well, AOC already wants a Soviet style government with Gulag, so that's not too far fetched.
Yeah, so maybe they're probably following the same footsteps. They just need to expedite it a little further, and that it only happens on their side.
A list of Trump supporters.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, whatever speeds up the Democratic collapse, I'm all for it. But we're going to look at a few more articles here before we wrap up. But let's see. Trump made gains with black voters in some states, and here's why. I could read this, or I could just... No.
Look at those. Look at those two Uncle Toms.
I can't believe them. Matter of fact, I know just the person to listen to talk about how terrible this is.
People, Joe, I mean, I don't even know where any blacks would be coming from that would be voting for Trump. It just hurts me so bad to see blacks talking about supporting Trump. I don't know why they would be doing it. I don't know what's on their minds. But if we don't turn out this vote and turn it out huge, this man could end up winning again. And this country would go backwards. The divisiveness that this deplorable human being has caused, the confrontation, the dog whistling,
unity
to the right wing, the white supremacists, the KKK, and they're coming alive. They're emboldened because they've got a leader who wants them to do it. What did he say to them?
The KKK were Democrats, by the way. Proceed.
The Proud Boys, stand back and stand ready. Ready for what?
Stand by.
Confrontation. Give me a break, Joe. I thank you. I know you're on it, doing everything that you can. We got to shout it from the rooftops. That
we spent most of the morning here because this story came out that as Florida goes, it might make it a short night, but black men could very well carry Florida and particularly other states, but in particular Florida. But these young black men, for the most part, they somehow it's being communicated to them that they either need to support Trump or they need not vote. And I just need you, one who you know how the system works. You know how this game is played. To just talk to these young brothers for a minute or so.
Well, let me just say this. You're absolutely right about many of these young men, these young black men, not really understanding how the systems work and what we have done to improve the systems. If I was not...
Excuse me.
You okay?
Nah,
Don't give me. I mean, I know.
get allergic when I hear bullshit.
I mean, I know you gave me Rona, but I gave you Rona, but don't give Rona back to me.
I don't know. Can it do that? All I know is you can make a difference without either party, but others must also be willing to walk the path less traveled. Well, you know, if that's an option, you gotta stick to it. You gotta do it. But the way I see it, a lot of my values align with conservatism, and so far, I think if there's a party worth saving after Trump's presence, it's the Republicans, because I feel like most conservatives have a standard. Most conservatives I see have a standard, and with with the election coming and going, or I guess it's done. I don't know. With Trump being a factor now within the history of the country, I believe, especially after the showing of the media, specifically Fox, because I feel like that's going to be the other red pill moment for a lot of conservatives who relied on Fox for their information. Thank God they screwed up, because, I mean, it took long enough. But it's going to be what shows, what, you know, encourages them to increase their standards and demand more from those they put in power. And I feel like the right is more likely to do that than the left, because the left, they're willing to settle. You're not supposed to settle.
It's cute that everyone thinks there's a party switch back in the 60s, but it was only the voters who switched. The racist politicians on the Democrat side who supported segregation didn't go anywhere. Yes, that could be another topic for video or live stream. The fact that the party switch is a complete myth.
Over-exaggeration.
Well, see, what really happened was one a-hole politician basically switched sides.
Was it
Strom something? Anyway, we'll look up his name. I can't think of his name.
I know.
But he switched parties, and that literally is the basis for the whole party switch.
And even back when I was in my liberal mood, I found that a little odd, because I was like, because at first when I first heard it, I thought it was like, so is that just something we do? Like, I thought it was just a thing. Like, all right, every so many years we switch sides. Why would I switch sides if we're like completely? And I just never further pursued it. I don't even think I used it. But even then, I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. How do you just switch sides? And it was over exaggerated.
Malcolm once said, the worst thing to happen to a black man is the white liberal. Yep.
I believe that 100%.
Absolutely. That is the worst thing to happen to a black man.
Yes, because a white liberal is the type that will take advantage of my suffering and their responsibility for my suffering to appear as my ally, which is disgusting, especially this day and age. Like, I could see me believing that a little bit more if it was like, I don't know, 40s. If I was like, man, that white guy, he's really looking out for me, even though as I'm currently being sprayed in the ass by a water hose and he's trying to save me. I'm like, yeah, okay, this guy's helping. But now it's like, I don't need your help. Like, after all the hardships that black people have went through the growth and maturity of this country, I'm pretty confident in my ability to do well on my own.
Bro, you know how much controversy we kick up when we're like out in public? People stare at us.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if
we're in the South? So.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we were alive during the Civil Rights era?
Oh boy, we both be fucked, especially you. People like black people already had it bad, but Negro lovers. Yeah.
I mean, we get stares today. Can you imagine if we got stares back then?
Man, I'd be feeling worse for you. Like, look, man, it's not worth throwing your life away. Like, I was screwed from the jump. You can still be saved.
What I could do is I could be like a dick and be like, we'd be hanging out, and they'd be like, why are you with this boy here? I'd be like, I'm not with him. He kidnapped me, shot my dog, and please help. And they'd be like, what?
Yeah. Or you could just be like, oh, this is my property. just to keep me safe. And I'm like, golly. Our saviors try to be our hero instead of being our... Yeah, because my thing was the whole purpose, I thought, of the civil rights movement was to be seen as equals under the law. Judged by your character, not the content of your character, not your skin.
Not your skin, color of your skin.
And so what that means to me is that equal, which means no advantage, no exclusive rights for me. I just want to be on the same playing field as far as, the law, rights, same.
White privilege.
And then comes stuff like affirmative action. I'm like, isn't that a direct violation of the civil rights?
No.
But you just said we went through this whole ordeal about how we were supposed to be equals, yet you give me this whack program that promotes me because of the color of my skin.
Equality.
That's not equality. No, it's not.
You deserve to be on an equal playing field.
That's what the whole purpose of the bill was.
No, you need to be on the equal playing field to a white person.
And
we're going to do that by, even if you're not the most qualified candidate for the position, you get precedence over the white guy who could be.
But that's not equality.
That is equality.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Stop arguing with me. I'm a Democrat.
You should be like, stop arguing with me. I'm doing it for you. I know what's best for you,
I know what's
black
best
boy.
for you. I am a white liberal, okay?
You don't understand. You can't fathom the amount of privilege I have and how hard it is for someone like me to use that privilege for your benefit.
I am being selfless here.
And that's what it sounds like. And I'm like, I'm surprised people who take umbrage with the whole issue of race can see these people as allies. And that's another question I have for people, specifically black people who voted for Biden, who have any real stake in the thing. You're voting for the guy who authored the bills for the crime bills that disproportionately put black people in prison for long excessive sentences over the most minor offense. The war on tough on crime. And this is the guy you would rather have. So that tells me that with Joe Biden potentially, if he wins, we should see the absolute destruction of Black Lives Matter, because that's what they wanted, right? If Trump was the catalyst for everything that's went wrong with black people since 47 years ago, that would mean that Biden's victory of presidency should absolve all of the issues that any black people have had with the system that was developed by Biden, that the extreme sentences, all that stuff, and Kamala too, because these people are part of the system that they endlessly complain about, yet you voted them in, which means the system has been running fine this whole time, as intended. But they wouldn't say that. That's just my question. Because if that's the case, this is who you voted for. I mean, we've been hearing all this stuff about black people. We need Black Lives Matter. So you voted for Biden? Was Trump really that bad? Or did you just buy all the media
Orange Man bad.
spew
Orange Man bad.
saying that he was responsible for
CNN
everything?
told me that Orange Man was bad.
Okay.
So Orange Man bad.
All
Orange
right.
Man's stupid.
Okay. Whatever.
Orange Man need to go.
Okay. Even if it means whatever.
How do you think the Crips and Bloods originally started? I didn't see this comment. They started as community activists. Soldiers coming home from Nam until the crack cocaine started. And then they turned on each other. That might be a topic worth investigating. I didn't know that.
Me either.
I thought they were just street gangs.
Well,
I mean, they are, but that's how, whatever.
I didn't know if there was any basis for their.
I didn't know that. We'll look into that, Kuroki. Thank you.
Smash today. I gotta go to work. I go to work in 30 minutes.
Hey, this is not the gaming channel, okay? Right.
Yeah, if you want to talk about video games, follow me over at youtube.com/Immortal AfrOAlpha.
Shameless plug.
I need to upload content over there instead of sending people over there. I haven't put nothing up in like over a month, I think 2 months now.
You've been focusing on this one.
Yeah, but I got to do both because the goal here is to, alleviate the culture by having, someone relatable on both sides, because that's another thing. Conservatives need to do more in the cultural aspect of the country, because right now the left dominate everything, and it's so bad. I'm like, it really shouldn't be that hard to compete with how bad these guys are at what they do. They dominate because there's no alternative. Like, you're tired of seeing your favorite shows turn into shit. Let's make a new show that's not shit, that actually has core values, isn't afraid to tread new ground.
1:30. 1:30.
All right. But anyways, guys, like I said, today's going to be a short stream. We did 1 hour and 21 minutes. That ain't too bad. So look forward to more of these midday streams until we can get a nice schedule put together.
And we are both working on that. We will try to get to a point where we can bring you content on the regular.
Yeah, because, I still have a day job.
Yeah, we still have to work.
So until we start getting,
money
a little bit of kickback.
Nudge, nudge. Don't feel pressured.
Yeah, if I'm doing a good job, you'll tell me. If I'm not doing a good job, I would hope you would tell me.
And if you want me off the stream, please feel free to tell me.
Get off.
Okay.
But, yeah, that'll do it for today's stream, guys. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. Need to get ready for work. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I appreciate your viewership. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Chet. And you guys, as always, I am your Immortal Afro. This is my buddy Chris. And we'll see you on the next upload. Peace. Back at it again.